All right, welcome, kings and queens. Today we're talking Luigi Mangione. Oh my gosh. Listen, have a seat. Have a seat. They, mark my words. They are going to make an example out of Luigi Mangione. Luigi, I don't know if you were hired. I don't know if you're the fall guy. It's given every bit of hit that you did not act alone to me. These are my thoughts right before I jump into the news article. But let me tee you up for this conversation. As soon as the news hit that United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down, I immediately thought hit for hire. Hit for hire. And I'm going to go with my instinct. I'm still leaning along those lines. I never would have thought that we would turn around and 4 or 5 days later, it's an Ivy League 26-year-old boy, young man, that comes from a very wealthy family. You could not have paid me to pick him out of a lineup. No, sir, no way. Because it has money written all over this, in my opinion. Now, what I do believe, Luigi, I don't know who sent you. I don't. But I do believe you were sent. Very well could be the trigger guy, right? But I believe you were sent. That's just my opinion. And I believe that whomever may have sent you, man, it's a cold, cruel world. And maybe you thought you were going to get off, but I don't think so anymore because Luigi Mangione, you all, could face a death penalty, according to prosecutors. And I believe there's a high probability that he just may be handed a sentence of death. And let me tell you why. I believe this is the opportunity for the healthcare system, the healthcare corporations to get what we call in the YouTube streets, get their lick back. We're going to make an example out of you so that anyone else who even thinks of taking out a CEO, a VP, or an executive C suite leader, you better think back to Luigi Mangione. I believe they're going to make an example out of him. The death penalty is now on the table. Let's get into it. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
Listen, this is what we're covering, okay, today. Luigi Mangione, the suspect, we know, in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, he made his first appearance in federal court today. A waiver of extradition means that the defendant is relinquishing their right to an extradition hearing. Why would you waive your right? Most times, the only thing that most times when this happens is because they want to give the appearance of cooperation. I want to give the public appearance that I'm cooperating. But why would he need to give the appearance of cooperation when he has public support? Why would you waive your right to extradition? It doesn't make any sense to me in this case. But okay, let's get back on track, Queen Sheba. I know y'all say, "Oh no, she's really good." But what if? What if she's there to do one job? So anyway, he faces 4 federal counts in connection with Thompson's death, according to a criminal complaint. Mangione formally waived extradition this morning, and he was flown from Pennsylvania to New York. Now, do you think they flew him on a private jet or commercial? Because you can still go commercial and have private access by way of when you come down at the bottom, the tarmac. He arrived in lower Manhattan surrounded by dozens of heavily armed law enforcement officers and the city's mayor. The New York State case against Mangione will proceed in parallel with the federal case against him. According to a statement Thursday by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Man, man. United Healthcare CEO suspect, he could face the death penalty if he is found guilty of the federal murder charge against him. And we know he's going to be found guilty. We know he's going to be found guilty. Let me say this. If I were a possible juror in New York, don't pick me. I would not want anything to do with this because what you're not going to do is put the fear of God in me. Should I vote wrong? Okay. I would not want to be selected for this. If you get a notice in the mail, if I were you, I would have a doctor's appointment all the way into 2027. I am booked and busy. Listen, don't I wouldn't want that kind of pressure on me if I were a New Yorker. But anywho, Mangione is charged with one federal count of using a firearm to commit murder, which carries a maximum potential sentence of death or life in prison, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York said on Thursday. Listen, New York is like Texas. In Texas, these boys down here, they're all for the death penalty. Why in the hell would his attorney agree to waive extradition? I would have fought. The stalking and firearm offenses he is charged with also carry maximum potential sentences of life in prison. The firearms offense carries a minimum penalty of 30 years in prison if he makes it to prison. Prosecutors have not said whether they will seek the death penalty. A decision to seek it would ultimately need to be approved by the U.S. Attorney General. Let me tell you something. They will sign it. They would. They would and could. Do you feel like they're going to seek the death penalty for him? I believe they are. I believe they are. Now, the lady that I'm referring to as his attorney is Karen Friedman Agnafilo. Okay. She's his new lawyer. I like the other man, but I don't know if Karen is an addition or if she's the primary lead counsel. Now, she's reported as of 17 minutes ago, Mangione's attorney told the court that she has never before seen this highly unusual situation. As Luigi Mangione made his first New York court appearance today, as we all know this morning, his defense attorney, Karen Friedman Agnafilo, noted a highly unusual situation that she said had never happened in her 30-year legal career. Until yesterday, she was prepared to represent Mangione today in state, not federal court. Agnafilo said she's never seen a situation play out like this. Scannell reported from outside the courthouse after the appearance ended. Agnafilo asked prosecutors to clarify whether there is a joint investigation among the federal and state prosecutors or two separate investigations. Because the offices located about a block apart in lower Manhattan appear to be charging Mangione on two different legal theories. A theory. Agnafilo also noted that one of the charges against Mangione has the possibility, of the death penalty, adding that the prosecutors, however, did not say whether they were going to seek that penalty. Prosecutors also did not respond to Agnafilo's comments about how highly unusual this was, Scannell said, adding that the judge agreed this point did not need discussion today. Why not? It's a high profile case. See, now that's when I would have got real ignorant in that chamber. And I would have been like, excuse me, judge, today is all we got. This is a high profile case, and I will leave no stone unturned for my client. What the hell you mean? Not today. Oh, no, ma'am. We flew him in. Today is the right time. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the judge would have had me ushered out. Next steps. Here's what they're saying. Mangione was charged by federal prosecutors in a criminal complaint unsealed Thursday. Prosecutors are expected to seek an indictment from a from a grand jury. Agnafilo spoke very briefly in front of cameras after her client's hearing in federal court, saying, "We are going to respectfully decline to make any comment at this time. Mr. Mangione appreciates everyone's support. Thank you." So it sounds like the defense attorney, Agnafilo, yeah. She's seeking clarity on how her client is being simultaneously facing state and federal charges. You know what? I thought I was crazy when I was reading that. A question that may hint at the defense legal strategy? Well, I don't really know New York law, so I guess we'll be learning in real time together. I think what the legal team is doing, according to this article by CNN, the legal team is teeing this up to argue that these federal charges violate Luigi's criminal defendants, his criminal constitutional right of double jeopardy, meaning that you cannot be charged with the same crime twice. A criminal defendant can be charged with a state crime. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That argument may be difficult to make, however, due to a Supreme Court ruling in 2019 that determined state and federal agencies can bring charges against a person for the same conduct because they operate as separate entities. A criminal defendant, according to this Supreme Court ruling in 2019, it states that a criminal defendant can be charged with both state and federal crimes as long as the person violated both a state and a federal law. Girl. CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig says that he believes the double jeopardy argument has a little chance of winning. Yes, both sets of charges boil down to the fact that Luigi Mangione shot Brian Thompson on the street in Manhattan, but the charges are phrased and structured in different ways, so I don't think there's a chance of double jeopardy motion succeeding here. The question was not resolved during Thursday's court proceedings as the judge Catherine Parker said that the initial appearance was not the time to have the discussion. I don't know why not, Miss Catherine. I don't know. You knew what you were showing up for, ma'am. Why not? But okay, I mean, I'm just a blogger. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the death penalty will be placed on the table? What are your thoughts? Let's take it to the chat.